Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news right now at 6. 3 people shot inside a car in Durham. A man was killed, 2 women seriously hurt. What neighbors are sharing with us this morning.
Also breaking news this morning, power lines down in Raleigh. The crash that caused this destruction on Rock Quarry Road.
And round 1 of some rain tapering off here for us this morning, but we have some stronger storms potentially on the way. We're going to walk through what this level 2 risk means for most of North Carolina coming up.
And changes at the DMV. For the first time, we will hear from the department's new leader. The new weekend hours coming to some locations. A lot of news to get to for you on your Friday morning. It's also a WRAL Weather Alert Day. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey in for Nate Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your routine here. And we've been through a lot this week, yes, weather-wise. Certainly another WRAL Weather Alert Day. Elizabeth Gardner has a day off, but Anthony Baglione in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now with just where this risk is, pretty much all of our viewing area.
It is just about the entire state of North Carolina at this point, too. Our whole viewing area included in that. 4 to 8 p.m., though, is the time period where we are looking at for some stronger storms coming through. We could see some strong wind gusts. We could see some brief tornado potential. They wouldn't be long-lived, but still something to watch. And then some small hail if any of these get going here through the afternoon. We are starting to quiet down, though, this morning. This first initial batch that's coming through, we're still seeing some really light coverage on radar at the moment, mainly for, let's say, our north and eastern counties. But that is on the way out, and most of us are going to be quiet here through the next couple of hours. There is Futurecast, though. It's doing a good job of kind of pinpointing some of those speckled showers there over the next, again, hour or so. We go to about lunchtime. We are dry. Early afternoon is dry, but watch that line that starts to form there, again, between about 4 to 8 p.m. It pushes through. We could see some gusty winds with that. Mainly our northern counties have the greatest risk at seeing at least a brief tornado or two, but all of us under that at least risk, if you will. And then it starts to taper off as we get through tonight and into early tomorrow morning. The weekend, though, we still have some more storm chances on the way. We will talk about what that means here, Ken, in just a few minutes.
All right, at 6:01, Anthony, really a rather quiet start to your morning commute. We do have that breaking news of a car crashing into a pole there in Rock Quarry Road. We'll have a live report coming up, but that's not impeding traffic in any way. But all our major routes from Wendell to Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, all delay-free, including here on I-40 and Wade Avenue, courtesy of our live cam network. You get ready to head out the door, though. Tune us in on the radio. We got you covered, 101.5 HD3.
Back to that breaking news we're following for you. A person is dead. 2 others are seriously hurt after a shooting in Durham. It happened around midnight on Rollmont Drive, and police say all 3 people were found shot in a car. Ali Katlubar is there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Ali, you spoke with one of the neighbors there who heard those gunshots.
Yes, Jeff, and even more neighbors are going to be waking up this morning to find this crime scene here. Police still actively investigating right now. And underneath that tent, behind these layers of police tape, you can see that car where officers found the victims of this shooting. Now, this video from our WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows officers investigating this car. That's where officers on the scene tell us they found 3 people shot inside. Durham Police Department says they responded around midnight to reports of gunfire. And when they got there, they found a man and 2 women with gunshot wounds in that car. Police say all the victims were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The man has since died. A neighbor told us how concerning it is that this happened not only close to his home, but it's actually at the entrance of Whippoorwill Drive Park.
Here close to a park, I mean, literally the park is no more than 5 feet away from this crime scene. This is insane. Literally we got little kids, a lot of little kids that stay in the neighborhood. And again, I mean, such a friendly neighborhood. I mean, it's just, again, just truly shocking to see that this is occurring here.
Again, that car parked right next to the entrance of Whippoorwill Park, a city park here in Durham. Now, we are now working to find out what led up to this shooting, as well as the condition of the victims, and if any suspects have been arrested. Reporting in Durham, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
And more breaking news. Hundreds of people are without power after a car crashed into a utility pole in Raleigh. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live on the scene on Rock Quarry Road. Kelsey, crews are making those repairs right now. Did they tell you when power will be back on?
Michelle, we're working to get an update on that, but new in the last 10 minutes, more than 500 customers are without power in this area near Rock Quarry Road. So we'll give you a look at what happened here. So this car hit a power pole. There's some serious damage to that car. Even part of the front bumper there is scattered on the ground. You can see where that power pole snapped when the car hit it. And just to give you a landmark here, this crash happened right in front of Redeeming Love Missionary Baptist Church here on Rock Quarry Road. For now, traffic isn't really impacted. Just a couple of trucks are parked here in this right lane, so cars are easily able to get around them. But we'll be sure to keep you updated on how this could impact traffic once more folks get on the road. We'll be sure also to keep you updated on the extent of the person's injuries who were involved in this crash. Right now, we're just hearing that person is in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And we'll also keep you updated on what caused this crash. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
I'm Eric Miller in the WRAL Live Center. Just in the last few minutes, we've learned that officials in Wake Forest are investigating after 9 cars were found burned earlier this morning. These details coming into our newsroom just the last few minutes. We're learning Wake Forest Fire, Police, and the Wake County Fire Marshal all responded just after 3:16 this morning. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. This all played out right here. This is just south of downtown Wake Forest, just off of Grand Mark Street. You can see that's just a few blocks away from those North Wake County Baseball Association fields. We're still working to learn what exactly led up to this arson, and if police or fire investigators have any suspects in mind, we'll bring you those details as soon as we get them.
All right, Eric, thank you. New reaction as the head of a Raleigh church admitted to using $400,000 in COVID-19 relief loans for personal use. Word of God pastor Mitchell Summerfield admitted to falsifying applications for pandemic-era government loans. Court records show the recovery loans were for a business Summerfield owns outside of the church. He pleaded guilty to using the money for personal gain, not towards business expenses or paychecks. Former U.S. Attorney Michael Easley Jr. explains why many fraudulent relief applications were approved during the pandemic.
There's a delicate balance between how we safeguard the American taxpayer's dollar, but also try to get that money out and in the hands of the people who need it before our economy faced a tremendous tailspin.
Pastor Summerfield has not faced sentencing yet. He faces a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison and a $1 million fine, at least 5 years of unsupervised release as well.
A Wake County child care worker is being accused of biting a 2-year-old. Court records show Kayla Drakeford Williams faces child abuse charges. This happened while the child was being supervised at Creative Kids Academy on Strickland Road in Raleigh. She's expected in court June 25th, and we've reached out for comment from Kids Academy. We're waiting to hear back.
And this morning at 9:30, we'll hear how North Carolina's new DMV commissioner plans to improve service for customers. Paul Tyne will be joined by Governor Stein and Secretary of Transportation Joey Hopkins at a news conference. Tyne will address what's being done to address ongoing DMV challenges. It begins at 9:30 at the DMV office on New Bern Avenue in Raleigh. And it comes as the DMV prepares for new walk-in hours at 20 offices starting tomorrow. Locations include Clayton, Durham East, and Johnston County. Those offices will be open from 8 a.m. until noon through August 23rd.
Today, you can learn more about the plan to remove cell phones from Harnett County classrooms. The school district will use the Yonder program, bringing in secure pouches like these to store those phones during the school day. The program will start in all Harnett middle and high schools in the fall, and details will be shared with parents in several info sessions. Today's virtual meeting can be found on school websites and the district's Facebook page as well.
Happening today, the Raleigh Apex branch of the NAACP rallying to demand action against Wake County District Attorney Lauren Freeman. They're highlighting the case against Holly Springs man Henderson Atwater. In 2024, Atwater was convicted in connection with a series of pellet gun shootings that started in March of 2020 and sentenced to decades in prison. Atwater has maintained his innocence. Today's press conference will be held at 10 a.m. in front of the state legislative building.
Also today, Michelle, Karen Reed's defense team gets its chance to present its case in her retrial, I should say. Prosecution rested its case after 6 weeks. The judge told jurors the trial appears to be on schedule, even slightly ahead of schedule. Reed is accused of hitting her Boston police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe, with her SUV in 2022, leaving him to die. This is the second trial after a jury was unable to reach a verdict last year.
A tornado that tore through a subdivision in Georgia hurt at least 2 people, one critically. The tornado hit Locust Grove, that's about 35 miles southeast of Atlanta. It left behind damaged homes and downed trees. Neighbors say an 18-year-old was thrown 100 yards from his home and was found in a nearby field. He's in critical condition. His father was also hurt.
New this morning, a step toward a truce in the Middle East. Israel is accepting an American proposal for a 60-day ceasefire with Hamas. The deal calls for the release of 10 living hostages as well as the bodies of 18 others. Hamas, however, says that deal does not meet its demands, and that would include a permanent end to the war. Hamas also wants humanitarian assistance to Gaza carried out through UN channels. Today, we'll see the conclusion of the law enforcement torch runs here locally, supporting the North Carolina Special Olympics. Final leg of the Wake County races start at 10 this morning. Dozens of law enforcement personnel will gather at Carter Finley Stadium, running all the way to the state capitol. And First Lady Anna Stein will be there to meet the runners.
And in Johnston County, the Clayton Police Department will have their own Special Olympics torch run. They'll run through downtown Clayton starting at 8:30 this morning.
And all that fundraising effort comes to a head at NC State's Reynolds Coliseum tonight. The North Carolina Special Olympics Summer Games will have their grand opening ceremony at 6:30 this evening. More than 1,500 athletes from across the state will compete in their respective sports. WRAL's Ken Smith is the MC for that event.
Just getting started here on your Friday morning. 100 ICE detentions. That's how many people are being held after a raid on a Florida construction site. What we're hearing from Homeland Security about the arrests.
Plus, celebrating tradition in such a tasty way. The Raleigh Greek Festival starts today. What you can expect at that event and your other weekend best bets from our Out and About team.
And if you are heading out here as we head into this afternoon, make sure to stay weather aware. We're quiet right now, but some strong storms could be pushing through our entire viewing area. We're going to walk through what the potential threats are and a look at the weekend forecast coming up.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:14 here on this Friday morning, where we are starting off really calm here after the rain that pushed through over the past couple of hours. Look at our temperatures, too. We are almost 70 degrees. If you walk outside at this early in the morning and it's close to 70 degrees on a severe weather day, that may lend itself to saying we need to be weather aware here as we go through the remainder of today. And I think we do for sure with the line coming through. 81 is where we're going to go as far as a high temp this afternoon. The weekend, a little bit cooler tomorrow in the 70s. But before we get there, make sure to keep in mind if you're headed out between about 4 to 8 p.m., we could see some stronger storms. We should get another update here from the Storm Prediction Center within the next couple of hours. We'll see if they tweak anything here. But we could see some strong wind gusts, maybe a brief isolated tornado or two, Ken, this afternoon.
All right, for those of you trying to get out to maybe to the southern beaches, get an early start to the coast this morning, maybe you're using I-40 East as your route. Those lanes coming toward us, all delay-free, so you will get to the beach just in time, maybe for breakfast, depending on where you're headed. Those of you heading to RDO International, we checked all the major routes headed to the airport this morning, all delay-free. And that's the case from Raleigh, Durham to Chapel Hill, all our major routes, nothing to worry about this morning. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
More than 100 people are being held by immigration enforcement in Florida after a raid on a construction site. Homeland Security says some of the detainees were previously deported and some have criminal backgrounds. The local sheriff's office says it is unclear what charges they'll face. The construction company says it will cooperate with the investigation.
A town in northern Canada under threat from dangerous wildfires burning out of control. Take a look at this video here. Hundreds of people have been forced to evacuate the area near Swan Hills, Alberta. The fires have burned more than 11,000 acres. They're being fueled by extreme heat, low humidity, and strong winds. A state of emergency is in place for all of Alberta as dozens of wildfires burn across the province.
This morning, there are new developments in the search for an escaped convicted murderer in Arkansas. The FBI is offering a reward up to $10,000 for information leading to Grant Hardin's arrest. Storms in Arkansas have made the search for him that much more difficult 5 days now after his escape. A tipster reported seeing someone who resembled Hardin in southern Missouri. While authorities are following up on that tip, they do believe Hardin is still in the area around the prison where he escaped Sunday. They've widened their search area, and in addition to the weather, extremely dense and rugged terrain is making that search challenging. Festivals, comedy, and baseball. Those are just some of the ways to enjoy the last days of May around the Triangle.
Yeah, there's a lot happening this weekend. Let's take a look at WRAL's Out and About's best bets. The Raleigh Greek Festival, we're all talking about it in here. Kicks off today at the State Fairgrounds. The Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church family will make authentic food using recipes handed down for generations. You can also enjoy live Greek music and traditional folk dances. It starts at 5 o'clock tonight and runs through Sunday.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Comedian Dave Attell will be on stage at Good Nights Comedy Club this weekend. He has 2 shows tonight, 3 tomorrow. Tickets start at $42.
And it's a full weekend of fun at the DBAP where you are looking live. That tarp down on the field right now. The Bulls are hosting the Memphis Redbirds. Tonight is Wizarding Night with fireworks after the game. Fireworks are also planned for tomorrow night as well. On Sunday afternoon, kids can run the bases after the game. You'll also get to make and take your own Lego Ninjago figure. For more information on these and other events, go to WRAL.com and search Out and About. And of course, all eyes on the weather, especially for the Bulls games happening tonight and tomorrow. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with Anthony Baglione. That's not Elizabeth. That's Anthony. That is Anthony with a look at RDU.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I forgive you. She took the morning off and enjoyed a nice Friday. We still have the weather department, though, completely covered as we go through today. What we're looking at here as we go through our Friday, likely the cloud cover is starting to break up, and I have some, cautious optimism, I guess, for the Bulls, but I think we may have some issues with that, which we'll talk about here in a second. Look at the peak of sunshine or two that's trying to come out. What I will say is anytime on a severe weather day where we have sunshine that tries to break through or that does, it re-energizes the atmosphere, adds some fuel, it adds some, material to work with, if you will, for some storms, and that would not be a good sign. So today we want it to stay cloudy. If it starts to get really, really sunny, we may need to see some tweaks to this risk. With that said, here is the latest risk from the Storm Prediction Center. They have us in that level 2, which essentially is saying some scattered strong storms are possible. Once you get up to the level 3, that means they're really likely. We're probably talking a pretty decent severe risk. We still could for sure see some strong storms today, but it's going to be some isolated pockets across our viewing area. We get through tomorrow. I know we've talked about severe risk a lot. We have yet another one tomorrow afternoon. What I will say is for today, tomorrow, if you have any plans at all during the entirety of the day, just make sure to stay weather aware, have the umbrella, keep it in the back of your head that we could see some strong storms, and then just go about your day. But we'll continue to keep it covered. Here's what we're looking at as far as futurecast today. Again, spotty showers possible this morning. The next batch does not come in until this afternoon. I'll pause this there at about 5 o'clock where you can see futurecast trying to pinpoint some of that pink that's showing up. That would be the strong storm potential, maybe some really heavy rain, some small hail. A brief tornado or two is possible. There's 6 o'clock. If this specific model were to verify, we may be looking at slightly lighter coverage there in Wake County. Just to our north, it could be stronger, and just to our south. Not to say necessarily that for sure is going to happen exactly like that. All of us have the potential, again, between 4 and 8 p.m. to see some of these on the stronger side. It should push out tonight. We will start tomorrow morning quiet, and then tomorrow afternoon we have a 40% chance to see some storms coming back in. 81, though, the high temperature for us today. A little bit cooler tomorrow in the upper 70s. Sunday, though, I highly encourage you, if you can get outside, enjoy. It's dry. We're looking at highs in the low 80s. We get through next week. It will be nice, but, Ken, we're talking temps back in the low 90s.
Ooh, summer's trying to make an impact right now. Hey, I-40 and Wade Avenue, check it out. You're seeing some damp road conditions out there, but the good news is traffic is flowing nicely in all directions on this section of I-40. For those of you navigating I-40 westbound, maybe you're coming in from Johnston County, we're in Highway 42 in the Beltline. No delays whatsoever. The southern loop of the Beltline. Also, if you're heading west, courtesy of Wade Avenue, all delay-free at this hour. And over in Durham, Hillsborough, Chapel Hill, all those routes free and clear. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. There's a possibility of euthanasia at the Wake County Animal Center as it approaches critical capacity. Why officials say they have repeatedly run into this issue at that center.
And death in custody. We have new information about a man who was able to take an officer's gun and shoot himself at the Durham Police headquarters. The charges he was facing.
And coming up on Today, Lester Holt live in Studio 1A to reflect on his career milestone, a new chapter ahead of his final broadcast on NBC Nightly News this evening.
And as we head to break, here's a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers. Good luck.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
We have a winner for the National Spelling Bee.
And comedian John Mulaney lost a fight. Ken Smith is here now with What's Trending, Ken.
Yeah, he should probably stick to just making us laugh, right? Yeah, comedian John Mulaney hit the mat in the season finale of his Netflix late-night show. The 42-year-old was inspired by the viral social media question of whether 100 men could beat one gorilla. Well, he put it to the test. He invited 14-year-old boys on the show and challenged them to a fight, and you see the end result right there.
Yeah, good. 3 of them pounded him, you know, and listen, come on, it's not even a fair fight right there. He did train though. He had 3 women dress up like teenage boys, and I think they beat him up too.
My gosh.
But you know what? He is making us laugh, so he's sticking to the script.
Job done.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? 13-year-old Fazan Zaki winning the Scripps National Spelling Bee. Take a listen.
Your word is éclaircissement.
Éclaircissement. E-C-L-A-I-R-C-I-S-S-E-M-E-N-T. Éclaircissement. That is correct.
He built that momentum, didn't he? Zaki was actually the runner-up in last year's spelling bee, so this is definitely redemption for him.
Redemption for him. And you could tell he was so excited. He knew, like, halfway through that word, he's like, I got this. And then he got to, like, the last letter, and he fell to the ground because he was just like, this is it.
Spelled just like it sounds.
Yeah, exactly. We could have spelled that. Yeah, no, that was fantastic. And also a North Carolina teen, Aishwarya Kolakuri from Charlotte. She did come in 4th place representing North Carolina. So, congratulations.
Ken, thanks. Anthony.
All right, guys, congrats to both of them. And as we talk about our weather forecast today, we have a lot of cloud cover out there right now. Some peaks of sunshine on the way, but that could set the stage for some strong storms. We will talk about when they get here coming up.
And extended DMV hours. More locations will be open tomorrow for additional walk-in hours. The changes coming to the state institution along with new leadership.
And breaking news, 3 people shot in Durham. A man was killed. 2 women are seriously hurt. What we're learning from that scene.